What if everything you thought you knew about success, happiness, and even yourself was nothing more than an illusion, a mask you've been wearing so long you forgot the face underneath? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the life you've been chasing, the applause you've been addicted to, the dreams you thought were yours, were never truly yours at all. That moment is uncomfortable. It's terrifying. It feels like the ground vanishes beneath your feet and the silence in your mind is louder than any noise in the world. But hidden inside that silence is something extraordinary. The chance to question everything, to peel back the layers of lies you've been sold, and to finally confront the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are and why you're here. This isn't a story about despair, it's about awakening. Because the day you dare to question everything is the day you stop living as a prisoner of illusions and start living as the architect of your own soul. And today, we're going to walk right into that fire, not to be destroyed by it, but to be reborn through it. The illusion of success is one of the most deceptive traps of human life. From childhood, we are told that if we work hard enough, chase dreams passionately enough, and finally stand on the stage of recognition, then we will feel complete. The lights, the cameras, the applause, and the wealth are presented as the ultimate rewards. Yet when those rewards finally come, a strange emptiness often settles in. The trophies gather dust. The applause fades into silence, and the money buys comfort, but not peace. It is in these moments that a haunting realization creeps in. Success in the world's eyes does not necessarily mean success of the soul. Many who reach the pinnacle of worldly achievement discover that the summit is quieter, lonelier, and darker than they ever imagined. It forces a person to pause and ask questions they may have spent years avoiding. Why do I still feel incomplete? Why do I still feel lost? The illusion of success is not in achieving, but in believing that achievements will fill the inner void. The truth is, success can decorate life on the outside, but has no power to heal what is broken on the inside. The world praises and claps, but when the lights dim and the crowd goes home, you are left with yourself. And it is there that the silence becomes unbearable. This emptiness becomes the first spark of awakening, the first crack in the armor of illusion. It is when a person realizes that perhaps success was never meant to be the destination, but a sign pointing toward something deeper, something eternal. And only when that illusion shatters does the real journey begin. The search for meaning beyond applause, beyond wealth, and beyond the fragile masks of worldly achievement. The turning point of questioning life often arrives in the quietest, most unexpected moments. It isn't always in grand tragedies or dramatic events, but sometimes in the stillness of an ordinary night, when the noise of the world fades and you are left face to face with your own thoughts. That silence has a way of exposing the hidden cracks in the foundation of everything you thought you knew. A person begins to wonder, what if everything I've been chasing, everything I've been taught, isn't the truth? What if life isn't just about survival, status, or pleasure? These questions, though unsettling, are the first steps toward clarity. They are the whispers of the soul reminding us that we are more than flesh and bone, more than careers and possessions. It's almost as if a curtain begins to lift, and what once felt permanent now feels fragile, temporary, even meaningless. This inner dialogue can be terrifying because it shatters comfort zones and confronts us with uncertainty. Yet at the same time, it is liberating because questioning life means opening the door to deeper truths. It means daring to ask why we are here, what our struggles mean, and where we are going when the curtain of this world finally falls. Without this turning point, a person can live an entire lifetime asleep, trapped in cycles of repetition, never realizing they are missing the very essence of existence. To question life is not to despair, it is to wake up. It is the beginning of peeling away illusions and uncovering what really matters. It is the moment the soul knocks on the door of the heart and demands to be heard, demanding answers that no amount of fame, wealth, or pleasure could ever provide. It is the first true step into the unknown, which is where meaning begins. The weight of emptiness often arrives when everything you thought would complete you finally falls into your hands, and yet there's nothing there. Success, money, admiration, relationships, all of it can fill a room with noise and still leave the heart echoing with silence. It's a strange paradox to achieve the dreams you once believed were the finish line, only to discover that the finish line keeps moving further away. This emptiness isn't a lack of possessions or opportunities, it's the absence of meaning. It is the realization that no external achievement can satisfy the hunger of the soul because the soul is not nourished by what is temporary. The weight becomes heavier as you continue chasing, thinking the next milestone, the next applause, the next accomplishment will finally silence that quiet ache inside, but it never does. Instead, the more you achieve, the more hollow it feels because you start to see the cycle for what it is, a loop with no exit. And this is where the weight of emptiness becomes unbearable. It forces you to stop, to ask yourself what you are really searching for. The pressure is painful, but it's also a gift, because in that suffocating emptiness lies the chance for awakening. It shows you that what you're missing cannot be bought, earned, or displayed on a stage. It can only be found by looking inward and upward, by confronting the truth that life's deepest purpose is not in building a throne for yourself, but in seeking something greater than yourself. The weight of emptiness crushes illusions, strips away masks, and brings you to the raw reality of being human. And that is often where the soul finally begins to breathe. There comes a moment when the noise of the world grows so loud that silence becomes the only refuge. And in that silence, you begin to see through the illusions you once thought were reality. The masks people wear, the games society plays, the endless chase for recognition, all of it starts to look fragile, almost absurd. When illusions shatter, it isn't gentle, it's disorienting. The ground beneath your feet feels unstable because what you believed in for so long suddenly reveals itself as a mirage. You realize the praise of others doesn't define you, the possessions you fought to gain don't anchor you, and the roles you play don't tell the whole story of who you are. This collapse of illusions can feel like loss, but it's actually a form of liberation, because the prison of false meaning is finally breaking down. It strips away the layers of identity you clung to, forcing you to confront a deeper question. If all of this is temporary, then what is eternal? If all of this can be taken away, then what truly lasts? This moment of clarity is painful because it demands honesty. It demands you stop lying to yourself about what will make you happy and face the truth that most of what we chase are shadows, not substance. But in that pain, there is beauty, because when the illusions fall, the soul gets its first glimpse of what is real. It awakens a hunger, not for applause, but for peace, not for recognition, but for truth. It's the breaking of the false self so the authentic self can finally emerge. A self that isn't defined by masks or possessions, but by purpose. And that is the beginning of a transformation no illusion can ever destroy. When you finally start to confront the fragile nature of existence, a strange kind of clarity sets in. Death, something most people fear or avoid thinking about, suddenly becomes the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. It strips away all the nonsense, all the small worries that once consumed you, and forces you to ask what actually matters. You begin to realize that every breath is a countdown, every heartbeat is borrowed time, and yet we live as if the clock will never stop ticking. The awareness of mortality doesn't have to be terrifying. It can be freeing. It makes you notice the details you once ignored, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of laughter, the peace in silence. It makes you more grateful because you start to understand that nothing is guaranteed, not even the next moment. Instead of wasting time on meaningless pursuits, you feel pulled toward something deeper, something lasting. Death whispers that wealth, fame, and success won't follow you, but the love you gave, the kindness you showed, and the truth you sought, those are the things that leave a mark beyond the grave. Mortality is like a mirror that refuses to let you hide from yourself. It asks you if you're living with purpose or just surviving on autopilot. It asks if your soul is ready to face what comes after the curtain falls. And in that question lies a powerful call to live differently, to start sleepwalking through life and start walking toward meaning. Death is not an end. It's a reminder that life is a test, a journey, and an opportunity to shape eternity with every choice you make now. It is the most humbling and at the same time, the most empowering truth you will ever face. Faith often reveals its deepest strength in the darkest valleys of life, when everything feels uncertain and the weight of existence becomes unbearable. In those moments when human reasoning falls short and material comforts no longer soothe the heart, faith becomes the anchor that keeps the soul steady. It tells you that suffering is not random, that tears are not wasted, and that pain carries a purpose beyond what the eye can see. It whispers that there is a divine wisdom at play, a plan far greater than your limited understanding, and that even the moments that break you are shaping you into someone stronger, more compassionate, and closer to truth. Faith gives you the courage to walk through storms with the belief that they will pass, and the patience to wait for dawn, even when the night feels endless. It transforms fear into trust, despair into hope, and loneliness into connection with something eternal. In the silence of grief, it offers reassurance that you are not alone, that every struggle you endure is seen, every tear is counted, and every effort will be rewarded. This strength doesn't come from denying reality, but from embracing it with the certainty that beyond the visible lies the unseen. Beyond death lies eternity, and beyond trials lies peace. Faith is what gives you the ability to rise when the world expects you to fall, to keep moving when everything tells you to stop, and to smile through the pain because you know there is meaning behind it. Without faith, life can feel like chaos. With it, even chaos feels like part of a greater harmony. It is the unseen hand that holds you when everything else slips away, the force that gives life direction, and the light that leads through the darkest night. When you strip life down to its core, it isn't the money, the fame, or even the fleeting moments of happiness that define you. It's the questions you dared to ask, the truths you were brave enough to face, and the faith you found when everything else failed you. This journey of questioning everything isn't about losing yourself. It's about discovering who you were always meant to be. Every tear, every struggle, every doubt, and every moment of silence in your heart was a doorway to something greater, a reminder that there is more beyond what we see, more beyond what we can explain, and more waiting for us when our time here ends. Life becomes meaningful not because it's easy, but because it's temporary. And every choice shapes what comes after. That's why the real courage isn't in avoiding pain, it's in transforming it, in using your struggles to reach higher, to love deeper, and to connect to something eternal. So as you walk away from this message, carry with you the truth that your struggles matter, your questions matter, and your life has a purpose that stretches beyond this world. Keep seeking, keep questioning, keep believing, and let faith be the light that carries you through the unknown. Thank you for giving me your time, your heart, and your presence today. I wish you strength in your struggles, clarity in your doubts, and peace in your journey. May you find the answers your soul has been searching for, and may every step ahead lead you closer to the truth. Good luck, and may blessings follow you always.